Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Everyday English podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mark.
We are so happy to be here with you today. It's wonderful to be sharing our English learning tips with you.
Yes, Anna, it really is. And before we begin our great conversation today, please remember to like this episode, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't. It helps us a ton.
Thank you, Mark. Today, we have an extremely important topic. It's about training your mouth and your mind for English. What do you think about that?
Oh, Anna, I love this topic. This is something so many people ask us. They say, Mark, I understand English. I can read it. I can listen to it, but I just can't speak.
Yes, exactly. It's a very common problem. Many people understand English very well, right? They know a lot of words. They understand movies, songs, but when it's time to speak, they struggle. Why do you think that happens, Mark?
That's a great question, Anna. I think it's because they haven't trained their mouth. It's like knowing how to drive a car from a book, but never actually sitting in the car and driving. Your brain knows, but your body has no practical experience.
Yes, it's like your brain knows the answer, but your mouth doesn't want to say it. It feels stuck.
Yeah, stuck, or maybe shy, or just slow. Our mouths are used to speaking our native tongue, right? So, speaking English needs special practice.
That's a great point, Mark. Our mouths are, in a way, muscles. Not exactly like arm muscles, but they need training.
Yes, exactly. It's like going to the gym. Think about it. If you want strong arms, you go to the gym and lift weights, right? You don't just think about lifting weights, you actually do it.
That's a good example. And you don't go to the gym once and have big muscles right away, do you? It takes time and regular practice.
Precisely. The same is true for your mouth muscles when you speak English. You need to train them to produce the sounds, to let the words flow out naturally. When you first start, it might feel strange, a bit stiff, but
With practice, it gets easier. So if someone knows many words but can't speak, it's not because they aren't smart, is it? It's because their mouth simply hasn't been trained enough. It's almost a physical problem.
yes, that's right. It's not about intelligence, it's about muscle memory. Your mouth needs to remember how to make the English sounds. It's about making the sounds feel natural to your mouth.
Wow, that makes so much sense. So, what's a good way to start this mouth training, Mark? Are there any special techniques?
Oh, absolutely, Anna. One of my favorite and most effective techniques is called shadowing. Have you heard of it?
Shadowing? I think I know what it is. Is it like following a shadow?
Yeah, in a way, it's like you become the speaker's shadow. Here's how it works. You listen to someone speaking English, like in a podcast or a video, and then you repeat exactly what they say, almost at the same time or right after them.
Ah, I see. So you listen and repeat almost like an echo.
Exactly. You try to copy their pronunciation, their intonation, their rhythm. It's like you're an actor trying to sound just like the person speaking. You're not just saying the words, you're trying to feel them too.
That sounds like fun. So I play a video, and if someone says, "Hello, how are you today?" I would say, "Hello, how are you today?" right after them, trying to pronounce it exactly the same.
Yes, and the important part is not to stop. Even if you don't understand every word, just keep repeating the sounds. The goal is to get your mouth used to making those English sounds and patterns.
Wow, that's a fantastic idea. And it helps with both listening and speaking at the same time. You're listening very carefully to repeat, and you're speaking out loud.
Exactly. And you can start with very simple things, like short sentences. You can find many videos online for beginners. The key is imitation.
That leads us to the next point, Mark. After the shadowing technique, what else can we do? I think repeating simple, everyday phrases is super helpful.
Oh yes, repeating simple daily phrases is a game changer.
It's like a warm-up for your mouth. When you wake up or during a break, just say a few simple English phrases. You know, sometimes people feel they need to say very complex things to practice, but that's not true. Simple phrases help so much to unlock your mouth. Even just good morning or thank you.
Yes, Anna. Phrases like, I'm ready, or I can do it, or let's go. And you can say them with emotion. For example, if you're happy, say, I'm ready, with a big smile. If you're a bit tired, say, I'm ready, in a lower tone. This trains your mouth and also connects the words with emotion.
That's a wonderful tip, Mark. It makes speaking more natural. And the more you repeat these simple phrases, the more comfortable your mouth becomes with them. They become automatic, like when you learn a new song. At first, you read the lyrics, but after many times, you just sing without thinking.
Precisely. These phrases become part of your English routine. And once the simple phrases are easy, you can try slightly longer phrases, little by little. Now, this next tip might sound a little funny, but it's so important. Speak out loud, even if you're alone.
Yes, this is one of my favorites. People might look at you funny if you do it at the supermarket, but at home, it's perfect.
Yeah, don't be shy. Home is your English safe zone. You can talk to yourself in English. It might feel silly at first, but it's so powerful. You can talk about your day, what you're doing, what you want to do. For example, I'm making coffee. It smells good. I need a cup.
Or, I need to clean the house today. First, I'll clean the kitchen, then the bedroom. Or even just describing things you see. This is a book. It is read. It's on the table.
Yes. And the great thing is, you don't need a partner. You are your own best English partner, and no one is there to correct you, so you can speak freely, right? The goal here is just to make noise in English, to get your mouth used to producing the sounds. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's your practice time.
Exactly. The more you speak out loud, the more natural it feels, and your brain starts connecting the words with the action or the object. It's very, very effective. So we've trained the mouth. Now let's talk about our minds, Mark. How can we start thinking in English? It sounds difficult, right?
It sounds difficult, Anna, but it's a step-by-step process, little by little. You don't need to think about complex ideas right from the start.
So it's not like, I wonder about the meaning of life in English right away?
No, not that. Start with simple words. When you see a glass of water, think water. When you feel hungry, think I'm hungry. When you feel cold, think it's cold.
I see. So instead of thinking the word in my native language and then translating it to English, I just try to think directly in English.
Yes, and it's okay if you don't know all the words. Just use the words you know, and gradually you can try to think in simple phrases like, I need to go to the store, or the weather is nice today.
Wow, this seems so useful. Because sometimes when we speak, we are translating in our heads, right? And that slows us down.
Exactly. When you start thinking in English, it changes your fluency. Your brain starts operating directly in English without the extra step of translation. It's like a superhighway for your thoughts.
That's a wonderful image, a superhighway. So let's start small, with single words, then simple phrases, and don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Never do that, just try. Every little bit helps, and you will feel your brain changing, becoming more English. So we're training the mouth, we're training the mind. What else can we do to make English a natural part of our lives, Mark?
Oh, this is interesting. You need to make English part of your daily life. It's not just a subject you study, it's a language you live.
Yes. So instead of just studying for 1 hour, how can we bring English into our normal day?
Well, there are many ways. You can use English learning apps just for a few minutes when you're on the bus. Yeah, and videos. Watch short videos in English, maybe a simple cartoon or a news report for beginners. Even with English subtitles, that helps too. Absolutely listen to audio. Listen to English music or simple English stories, and of course, podcasts like ours.
That's right, like ours.
Listen to us when you're cooking, walking, or cleaning. The more you put English into your day, the faster you progress. It's about immersion, Anna. Even if you're not in an English-speaking country, you can create your own English environment at home. Change your phone's language to English. Read short articles in English. Look at English memes.
Wow, memes. Yes, that's a fun way. It doesn't feel like studying, but you're learning words and idioms. Mark, this next point is crucial for all kinds of learning, but especially for English. It's about consistency. Ah, yes, be consistent. This is the key. Many people think they need to study for 2 hours every day, but that's not always possible, is it?
And then they get tired and they stop. But what if we just do a little bit every day? That's the secret. 5 minutes a day is powerful. Seriously, practicing every day, even for a short time, is much better than studying a lot only once in a long while.
Yes, back to the gym example. Going to the gym for 5 minutes every day will make you stronger than going for 5 hours once a month.
Exactly. Small, frequent efforts build the habit, and the habit builds the skill. Your mouth remembers the sounds. Your brain keeps thinking in English. It's a continuous process.
And it feels less like a huge task, right? Oh, today I only need to do 5 minutes of English. And sometimes that 5 minutes turns into 10 or 15 because you start enjoying it.
Haha, that happens all the time. The key is not to break the chain. A little bit of English every day. It creates momentum, it builds confidence, and it tells your brain, English is important. We do this every day.
This is a great point, Mark, and so important for our confidence. It's about embracing your voice.
Oh, I love this point, Anna. It's so true. Your voice in English is important. It's your own voice.
Yes, many people wait to start speaking until they think they are perfect. They think, my English isn't good, my accent is bad, I'll wait. No, don't wait to be perfect to start. You start to get better. Your voice, with its unique accent and way of speaking, is a part of who you are.
Exactly. Be proud of your voice when you speak English. You are communicating, and that is the most important thing.
Don't worry about being perfect. Worry about being understood. And being understood is easy, even with a little accent.
Yes, embrace your accent. It shows where you're from, and it's unique. The goal is clear communication, not sounding like a native speaker from one specific country.
And when you embrace your voice, you feel more confident. You feel comfortable speaking. And when you feel comfortable, you speak more. It's a wonderful cycle. It really is. So next time you speak English, whether to yourself or to a friend, smile and say, "This is my voice. I'm speaking English." Mark, this final point connects everything we've talked about today, and it's so powerful. Your brain will follow your mouth.
Wow, Anna, that's a profound thought. Can you explain a bit more?
Yes, many times we think we need to know everything perfectly in our head before we can speak. But the truth is actually the opposite.
So you mean when you speak, your brain actually learns faster?
Yes, exactly. When you use your mouth to form the words, to make the sounds, to create the sentences, your brain is working in a very active way. It's not just receiving information, it's producing information.
Ah, I see. So the act of speaking is itself a powerful learning tool. It's not just showing what you know, it helps you know more?
Precisely. Fluency is born in the practice. It's not born just from reading books or listening to podcasts. Those are important, yes, but the speaking part makes it real for your brain.
So, by forcing your mouth to speak, even when it's difficult at first, your brain quickly catches up and starts making the connections. It's like, oh, we're doing this. I need to help out.
It's like your brain is saying, "Okay, mouth, you're speaking English. I need to supply you with the correct vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation quickly." That creates a powerful link between the sound, the meaning, and the action.
Wow, that's inspiring. So don't wait for your brain to be perfect. Start speaking, and your brain will catch up faster.
Yes, exactly. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes, and the more your brain adapts to thinking and communicating directly in English. It's a beautiful process. Well, Mark, this has been a wonderful episode. I hope everyone has learned a lot about training their mouth and their mind.
Me too, Anna. It's all about practice and consistency. You can do this.
Yes, you can. And remember, everyone, please subscribe to the Everyday English podcast if you haven't, and share this episode with your friends who are learning English. It could help them so much. And also, leave us a comment down below. Tell us what one simple English phrase you will start repeating every day. We want to know. We'll see you next time on the Everyday English podcast. Goodbye.
Yeah, we love reading your comments. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye, everyone, And keep practicing.